Aloha, welcome to my humble abode. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought I'd do a live and see how that goes, you know what I mean? See if I get any onlookers. Is there like a chat in oh hello, one person viewer? Can you I don't know how live works. Can you send a comment? Oh, we've got 2 people now. Hello, where do you hail from? Can you write a comment? Do I see comments if you write a comment on the live? Or I don't know how it works. Anyway, I'm just hanging out in my bedroom, okay? I write sometimes. Right. And sometimes I just write, oh, we got another viewer, we got a 3rd viewer. Hello, where are you coming from? So I just want to articulate. I don't know. I feel like we're borderline stimming right now. Do you guys know what stimming means? It's like, I don't know, something, a term that people use. I don't fuck, all these. Okay. So this is what I do. I hang out. Okay. I'm hanging out, and this is my piece of paper. And it's my piece of paper I'm hanging out with, and I'm going to write a word, okay? What word? I don't know. Maybe, should I just write the word word? That's what I'm going to write, word. Bird up. Do you know that? Do you know that reference? Yeah. Oh, should we do a little, I was out, I went out for my friend's birthday on Friday, and one of the people that was invited, she was like, you're giving off really big or strong ADHD energy. And I was like, that's interesting. And I was like, yes, I feel like I am able to acknowledge this most of the time especially when I'm like right now. Is it not quite obvious? I can't tell if it's just a product of our environment that's gone so ADHD. I feel like our environment is ADHD. Postmodern ADHD is the online environment, you know what I mean? It is short attention span, but I can still listen to a long podcast, you know what I mean? I feel like this whole, I think it's not, I think people like to subscribe to things too easily, you know what I mean? And even when I'm writing, you should see the way I write. I pinball around different words. Even just when I'm talking, it's bitty as really quite short stints of bits. You can definitely see the sort of ADHD or short attention span momentum. But I feel like people have a bad relationship to that framework and the energy of it. Or I feel like people are framing in that phenomena in a way that constrains it, in a way that it isn't open-minded to other possibilities of it. I feel like if you just kind of tease it out a bit, you can kind of find something. It's more oh, okay, here we are. Yeah. So okay. I was going to do a little excerpt from this book here. This is Gentle and Lowly by Dane Ortlund, The Heart of Christ for Sinners and Sufferers. I don't know if y'all are Christian or not, but I've been on a bit of a Christian journey for the last wee while. How long would it have been by now? I don't know. It's over 2 years. It's been a couple of years. Anyway, by Christian metrics, I don't think I'm a Christian yet, because I think you have to. I don't understand how Christians confidently Jesus rose from the dead kind of thing. More confident. How do you be that confident? And consistently, so you know what I mean. Anyway, we got chapter 9. An advocate. We have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ, the righteous. 1 John chapter 2, verse 1. Do you know when I was first coming into the Christian thing? I didn't know what all those little numbers were beside the the John or whatever, the book. I've really learned quite a lot about all the Christian thing. Anyway, should we do a little excerpt and then we can move on to something else like this one? We do a little excerpt of this book too, or something else. I don't know. We've got a few different books to choose from around about, or we could just see where the yarn goes. I feel like we need more yarn clocks. You know what I mean? Like more just like explorative. See, like I'm an artist, okay? So I feel like, you know, like my medium is everything. I am being genuinely serious. A couple of Christians have actually framed me as an art addict or a performance art addict. They were, yeah, and I understand that. Like, I can understand that perspective, but also I just kind of do find it a helpful method. Like, I don't know, like trying to, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. You know, like, what, do you want me to go to an AA meeting for being an artist? Like, anyway, a closely related notion to intercession is that of advocacy. I don't really know what intercession is. I mean, maybe vaguely. Like I might use it. Not really. Like, I don't know. Like, it's like some sort of interpersonal thing. Yeah. A closely related notion to intercession is that of advocacy. The two ideas overlap, but there is a slightly different nuance to the Greek words underlying each. Intercession has the idea of mediating between two parties, bringing them to this, and they've gone ahead and explained it for us, haven't they? Intercession is the idea of mediating between two parties, bringing them together. Nice! So we need someone like that to like bring people across like the extreme political divides. I don't really get the whole like linear thing, like with the like everybody like seems to like view politics and shit like this like as a binary or like a linear system. Like I can understand that, but I just feel like in reality it's not really that. Like when you actually like can, I don't know, like maybe this is like a free thinker sort of perspective, like, you know, like when you actually sit down and have a conversation with basically anyone, you can kind of like, you know, like people just have a whole heap of data points really, and it's like, you know, maybe a cluster of them sit on this side or that side, but like really when you kind of like start examining it, and then you kind of, I don't know if it's just like the nature of my mind, and then this is when you could chuck in the term like neurodivergent, and it's like, how about just thinking? You know what I mean? Like, what's the difference between thinking? What is the difference between neurodivergent and neurotypical? Like, is it not like at what point does thinking go from typical to divergent? And is that not just, how is the term not thinking more relevant? Like, how is that not more of an encompassing term? Yeah, this, I feel like we've got to like a pop culture era of, what do you call it? Like psychological labels, or just like labeling in general. Do you know like who else is a really interesting podcaster who I've just kind of come across, or like, yeah, it's just kind of like semi popped up on my radar recently? Joshua Cirella, and like his work's really super fascinating. Like analyzes sort of like, he does like research into like culture, like online culture, and just how like sort of factioned the politics can get and stuff. It's super interesting. Yeah, should we finish my little excerpt? We're on chapter 11 now. The emotional life of Christ. When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come to her also weeping. It's not the I don't know why I'm laughing. Okay, it's just like when, I don't know. You know what I mean? He was deeply moved. Someone's just commented to something. Also this dude, David Deutsch, you know, do you guys know David Deutsch? Who's listening? Where are you from? Where are you watching from? Are you a bot? Can bots watch me? Because bots can like follow me, so why wouldn't you be able to watch me? You know what I mean? Anyway, David Deutsch, The Beginning of Infinity, the explanations that transform the world. Do you know what, like, on my Christian journey, I was like, because I'm kind of, like, obsessed. My thing is, like, I think truth is relevant. Like, truth is probably a value you should probably, like, hold on to or, like, have at some level. Like, I feel like truth is a core value probably worth having when you're, like, living life. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to understand anybody who would maybe, like, push back on that or, like, have an opposing view on that. Like I don't really understand why you wouldn't hold truth at some sort of center piece of relevancy in life. Like, and Jesus Christ makes a sort of truth claim, actually a central truth claim about reality, doesn't he? Because it's like, I'm God. Nobody else is God. I am God. Okay? Nobody else. I am in the money, and there's not gods, bro. Like, it's like, there's one God, and I'm it. But, weirdly enough, I am a Trinitarian God. Funny, eh? So, you're telling me you're sort of, you're like a monotheistic, polytheistic God, kinda? I don't know. Yeah, what are we up to? Problems are soluble. Problems are inevitable. Why is he saying that? By soluble, I mean that the right knowledge would solve them. Huh? By soluble, I mean the right knowledge would solve them. Yes. It is not, of course, that we can possess knowledge just by wishing for it, but it is in principle accessible to us. So let us carve that in stone too. See, look on the page. I was looking at that like it was kind of like a bar of soap or something, but he was kind of like, describing it as carving it into stone. Did you know? In the Bible, the Lord says he is our rock. He is like our rock. And, so, yeah. And since the human ability to transform nature is limited only by the laws of physics, so I'm really trying to, like, does anybody know how to, like, improve comprehension? Because, like, sometimes I don't really know. Does anybody understand brains and reading? And, this is where I really do maybe think, like, I have, like, I did get diagnosed. What's that one? Auditory processing disorder. I did get that when I was a kid. But apparently, like, I don't know, TikTok educates me on all these psychological terms and stuff. And apparently, like, like you can get, like, cluster diagnoses or, like one thing might point to another. And, like, oh, I've got another book here, actually. Like, so, like, for example, like, the auditory processing disorder thing, like, can be, like, a sign that there's, like, other stuff going on. And one of the things is that it can be autism. And, like, girls don't, like, girls apparently like get missed. I don't know though. I have so many fucking opinions when it comes to the psychological culture of today. Like, I feel like we're just like pathologizing and like everything's just like ridiculous. Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like for me, I have such a varied state of opinion, and anyway, I don't know, what should we do? Do we think ADHD or chaos? You know what I mean? And we're just trying to find order in the chaos, and that we are in a chaotic world and time. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've become, or we are discombobulated due to our environment. Our digital environment is discombobulating. It emphasizes the chaos, and so I'm trying to, like, respond to that in there, like, it's kind of like, well, how do we find, like, I'm not really I'm not a chaos hater necessarily. I think there's a lot of beauty to be found in chaos, but it's like, what do we do with the juxtaposition? What do we do with this thing? What what is the value of chaos versus order? Or like, you know, like I feel like this is Jordan Peterson. He talks about this. And anyway, why? Because like, you know, these Mandelbrot. Oh, I was using cash for I was using cash for my what do you call it? Bookmark. Yeah, another chaotic insignia. I don't know. Symbol. The butterfly effect. Oh, we got a Feynman quote. Nice. Physicists like to think that all you have to do is say these are the conditions. Now what happens next? I think someone just commented on my live saying reading Deutsch passages is wild. Guys, yeah, I've got a few different books. Okay, so what I've found on my Jesus Christ journey has, like, at times when I've been, like, really, like, kind of, like, in the zone of, like, trying to intellectually understand the whole thing, or, like, when I've been, like, on board with the Christianity thing, I've kind of been, like, because it's, like, you can get lost on many, many, many tangents in Christianity, like, especially, like, there's lots, like, you know, like, there's the sexuality thing where it's like, you can only have sex in marriage, and if you're a heteronormative, monogamous person, you know, you can't be having gay sex, bruv, like, and you can't be polyamorous, you can't have an open relationship, you know, like, no casual sex before marriage, bruv, like, no sex even in a relationship prior to marriage, you know, but it's like you can get lost in that tangent and, like, you know, because, like, people are pretty sexually liberal these days. And then, like, another one is, you know, like, being female, like, it can be it's, like, obviously quite a patriarchal system, the Bible, not that it's, like, necessarily, like, woman hating or anything, like, it's actually, like, sort of pro-woman stances, that are actually pretty, like, come into reasoning with the Bible as true. Anyway, that's, like, more of a historical thing. Yeah, like, I mean, this is where I okay, guys, I'm going to be for an influencer for 1 second. Like, this is some lip balm called Goodbye. Manuka Ouch Bam. For lips and skin. Oh, maybe I should put it on my hands that I pick. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, anyway, let's not get distracted. Any old little bit bam will do, you know? Like, you're not going to just, I don't know, don't get one with bullshit in it. Just get some freaking coconut oil, bro. Like, it's not a biggie. Yeah, ADHD, very evident, possibly. Do you guys like my lobster pencil? I got this for $1 at the op shop, and I was inspired because I was like, yeah, this is very Jordan Peterson-y. Anyway, yeah, so truth is my anchor. Okay, so truth is relevant in life, I think. And then we got the Christ makes a truth claim. And then we got, like, physics and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm, like, physics, sciencey person. And then you got the morality thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm over talking now. Do you know people on YouTube, like, people literally that just record themselves. They just have, like, a posted up, like, video, and they just record themselves studying for, like, 8 hours. And they get heaps of, like, views and shit. And, you know, like, that's where it's just, like, I just feel like there are no rules. Like, I don't have to be, like, you know, you don't have to make, it's like, I can sit here and, like, not talk. You know, like, I don't have to be constantly talking, like, to be making, like, a video that people will watch. Or, like, you know, to necessarily have viewers. Like, if you're aiming for viewers, like, it's not always the case that you have to be sort of, like, stimulating, you know, like, or, like, it's not, you can make the argument that you don't have to, like, edit You know, like, you don't have to do a vlog style video and spend heaps of time editing and all this shit, you know what I mean? Like, I can sit here for a minute or 20 minutes or 3 hours and just say nothing. And maybe it'll get views. Who knows? But am I really recording for views right now? I don't know. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe... you know, maybe at the level of quantum physics, you know? I'd really like to be more informed about, okay, so, let's go to Grok, okay? So I'm going to put in my password. I could have just done my Touch ID, though. And then we'll go over here. Where's my history? Where's my, how do I get to, oh, there it is. Or should I just start a new one? Maybe I'll just do a new one. Okay, so, like, when I write, so, like, oh, it's all essentially, so, art's, like, essentially, like, art is essentially my method at this point. Method of survival, I don't know, or flourish, I don't know. Art's like a method for living and moving through life, you know, living life. Art, yeah, it's just helpful at this point for me. And yeah, I mean, I welcome anyone else to give it a go. If you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed by the environment, which it kind of is, isn't it? What are we doing? Yeah, okay, fine. When I say art as a method, art as method, yeah? Okay, and often I'll, like, you like me, working page. I've got 14 viewers right now. How fun is that? That's cool. So, like, yeah, like, truth. So, I'll just, like, I call it kind of like pinballing, but it's also kind of like data points. Pinball, data points, like, what's the rhizome? It's kind of like that vibe. I should maybe, like, get into more, like, descriptors or something. So, I have more, like, oh, this is another one, sort of metaphor, where it's, like, you're in, like, a climbing thing, and you've got, like, climbing holds, you know, like, it's like that, well, that one's within reach, you know, like, you got a few here, you got, you know, like, and then sometimes you're in, like, a point where you kind of just, like, I don't really know, like, I've got to this point, but, like, where's the next bit, like, that's what it's like in me trying to navigate the world, like, and this is what it's like when I'm, like, sitting down trying to write. And so I kind of, like, go from writing to art. And, like, art helps the writing process happen because like, if I just do, like, I'm not, like, a writer per se in that, like, yeah, like, I feel like that I use art to, like, kind of, like, keep the writing flow going. Because, like, if I was just kind of, like, my writing is, like, the way I am is kind of humiliating. Like, it's kind of embarrassing, or kind of like, why am I short-circuiting? Or, like, why is my brain being like this? Why? And so, like, you know, in terms of, like, I'm trying to, like, find my next little rung, it's like, okay, we've got, like, truth, and truth is one of the little hand grabs, and then we've got over here, we've got art and truth, you know, and then we've got writing, you know, we've got this whole bit we can grab here, and then we can, like, kind of, like, shimmy it up, you know, or something. But I guess this is kind of a nice, like, visual art piece, you know, like, installation art piece. And then, like, chuck it in zero gravity wouldn't really work, because, like, I mean, I don't know, like, this is where art's interesting, because, like, you know, like, it kind of takes, like, art's illogical, like, you know, like, art's quite happy in a nonsensical space, you know, like, the value and meaning of art is like not, and this is what I like about it. It's like I don't have to make sense, or like it's not all about trying to make sense, or it's trying to make like the journey of the nonsensical space sensical, you know? You're like trying to find a little bit of sanity in this space where you feel kind of untethered or in your chaos, you know? Like it's like, well, can we put together bits of sense making, like, you know, and like in doing that, like it's a bit of like it's a bit nonsensical sometimes, but sometimes you'll get a bit of sense and you'll be like, oh, okay. Yay. And that's what I do. And that's what I do on a regular basis, or sometimes when it doesn't always work, and it can be quite enduring, and it can be quite hard, honestly. But it does work enough that I have an appetite for it, and at times, and in terms of like the writing, like me coming to the writing process as like a source of like dealing with this life, dealing with this world, trying to navigate it, trying to find some way through it and something productive in it, like, you know, or like trying to find some meaning or cultivate some meaning. Yeah, anyway, so, yeah, now what I'm like, and then what I do is, like, when it, like I bullet point my, like, and then I'll chuck it in grok, right? So, like, I'll be like, truth. Okay, like, I care about truth. So, Neuralink is the other thing that I always think about, because, like, I feel like Neuralink is going to change the face of being human. And I'm really, like, fascinated by that, because, like, in terms of, like, communication, it's, like, a completely different bandwidth of imagination. Like, it's, like, because, like, Neuralink is supposedly going to have, like, technological telepathy, and I'm, like, super fascinated by that, because, like, I just, like, it's just quicker, you know what I mean? Like, that's half the reason I film. It's, like, it's just quicker than writing. Yeah, and like, technological telepathy is only going to be more fast than that. Like, and do you think, like, the speed of thought will actually get quicker once Neuralink's, like, in effect? I wonder about that too. Do you guys think about these things? See, and I feel so much better, because, like, I don't know if, like, I feel like expression, you know, and this being a form of expression, this being a form of, like, a journal, a diary, you know, like, writing as that, like, as an exercise, like, it's like an offload, you know, like, or something that you connect with others, and then you can kind of go with people, like, to somewhere else, or new, or be with them in the same space, and it's like, oh, I'm not the only one hanging out in this space with all these thoughts and ideas, and, like, you know, like, or, like, reading a book, like, or reading philosophers, and you're like, oh, there's, like, a whole map here where I think I'm, like, completely fucking lost right now, and then there's all, you know, it's like, it's kind of like the shoulders of giants quote, like, I stand on the shoulders of giants, like, when you're kind of, like, I don't know, like, when I'm, like, writing, and this, like, what I do with grok is, like, I, like, try to learn more about truth, so, like, and you're like, oh, and then, like, it's like, you know, like, all these new climbing bits just emerge, you know, or, like, get installed, you know, you're like, it's like, oh, like, someone's handing you up a new little thing to, like, grab onto, you know, like, it's like, oh, there was people here, these guys, this is like, I'm not revolutionary. There's been so many predecessors to this space before me, like, and thank the Lord for that, man, like, you know, because, like, it's actually really hard being kind of, like, out in the space, even if it's just kind of, like, fake, you know, like, like, in the sense that, like, I'm not actually, like, some kind of novel person in some kind of novel space kind of thing, like, it can actually, like, but when you've been hanging out in, like, this sort of space of self where you kind of think that you're kind of, like, an anomaly of some kind, and yeah, like, that can actually, it's really enduring, like, it's a really hard place to be, like, you know what I mean, but then, like, when you, like, discover all these other things, and you're like, oh, you guys have been out here, bro, like, y'all have written the map, you know, like, I was, like, been hanging out with Heidegger recently, and, like, or, like, Saw and stuff, I don't know if this is how you say these guys' names, but this album's in today, yeah, anyway, that's a little bit of a tidbit from me, okay? So I might just leave it there. Maybe I'll start, I don't know. See you next time.